Hello, I'm Prosperity Olorofemi,
And Mr. Lumese Agbonofu,
and we are from
Pan Atlantic University in Nigeria.
Welcome to our presentation of our research based on the topic effectiveness of project-based learning in accelerating innovation in African university. And first, we'd like to ask the question, what happened to the African dream of the university education? The first Africa university was founded in 859 AD, and since then, over 2,000 universities have been established across the continent with very simple goals to improve literacy, spark innovation, and develop Africa. Over 11 million graduates come from African universities annually. Yet, our continent still suffers from problems like unemployment, severe brain drain, low income jobs. And while all this is going on, the world is growing exponentially in the fields of AI and robotics. We are seeing people talking about ChatGPT, AI, and the likes. And countries where these things are being bettered from still face great talent shortage, majorly due to low birth rates. You can see countries like Germany and Canada calling to get more people to come down to their country. Yet the world is saying that Africa is the world talent reservoir. By 2030, there are projections that will have over 200 million tech talents. Yet the major institution, which is the university, that's supposed to prepare people for this boom, we are clearly seeing that there's a difference between what academia prepares people for and what the industry is demanding. So academic education is not equal to career readiness, and degrees are also not equal to innovation. And this has led us to ask the question, how can we rethink talent development from within without necessarily disrupting the whole system? And that's the idea behind CodeSpark. Myself being in the industry, in the edtech industry for over the past 5 years, I asked the question in my mind, how can we build a system where we can shift student mindsets from being mere academics to people who are problem solvers, the kind that industry demands. And we launched CodeSpark, three of us undergraduate students, as a grassroots experiment. Number one, to understand what are those very key factors that shift student mindsets from being mere academics into people who are really willing to solve problems and become innovators. We also wanted to test how students can balance schoolwork and industry relevant skill building, how they can do both together, not choosing one or the other. And we also wanted to answer the question and discover how we could students can build viable and innovative real-world tech solution under limited time frame and even with limited resources, which is the case often in African universities. And last, we wanted to test how effective project-based learning can be compared to traditional learning methods in developing problem-solving skills and competencies amidst students in African universities. So I'll hand over to my colleague, Oselumense, who would continue to explain more about CodeSpark.
Thank you, everyone. So I'm Mr. Lumese, and I'll take you through the CodeSpark model, the research methodology, and our implications, the results and implications. So the CodeSpark model, we designed a 7-week intensive training program with 4 phases. The first phase was a 2-week training program ranging from subjects like coding, entrepreneurship, and pitching to really prepare students to enter into the competition. The next phase was a formation of about 14 teams. So we had teams from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. The competition was an inter-year competition, so they formed teams within their years. Then they started working on their projects for about 2 weeks. So after that phase, we had the first round where about 13 teams were able to bring their final solutions. Then we eliminated 5 of those. So 8 teams proceeded into phase 3. Phase 3 was the mentorship phase when we had industry experts who came and provided support to the students for about 3 weeks. Then after those projects were refined, we had the final day of the competition where they pitched the solutions and 3 of them emerged. So what was the output of the competition? After the competition, we had about 13 fully functional prototypes emerge from the competition. And how did we do our analysis for the competition? We used observation, surveys, interviews, and participation tracking. Now we'll take you through the research questions. We had 2 research questions. The first one was to understand what were the key factors that actually drive the growth of effective entrepreneurial education in African universities. Then the second one was to ascertain the effectiveness of our program in actually accelerating innovation in the African continent. Now I'll take you through the methodology. We had a sample size of 31 people with a population of 60. We adopted a mixed methods approach due to our 2 research questions. That's quantitative and qualitative. For the quantitative approach, we had pre- and post-program surveys. We also utilized the Likert scale and we tracked attendance. For the qualitative methods. We had one-on-one interviews and we had feedback sessions with the participants. Now, what were the focus areas of this entire study, the methodology? We focused on whether the program was able to boost people's confidence in problem solving, improve their understanding of tech concepts and entrepreneurial concepts, was able to shift their mindset from mere classroom learners to actual real problem solvers, and whether their team dynamics actually contributed and boosted to their learning, and what implications the program had on their career outlook and their personal growth. We utilized the constructivist learning theory, which postulates that learning is more effective when it is discovery-based and learner-driven, away from the teacher-centric model present in African institutions. Now, what were the findings of our study? We discovered that working in teams ranked as the number one most important factor in improving the students' participation in competition, followed closely by prize money, mentorship, the diversity of the team members, and the training experience. We also discovered that about 79.4% of participants preferred our project-based learning approach over the traditional learning system. We also show a massive shift in the confidence in problem solving from 2.84 out of 5 pre-program to 3.94 post-program. Now, we'll share the implications of these findings with you. Now, it shows that the number one thing it shows us that short-term, high-intensity learning drives real outcomes. This competition actually, from the finding we showed, with the short time we had about a month to develop their solutions, it actually showed that students, if they are put under pressure, they're actually willing and ready to develop solutions, which Mark clearly stated in our own testimonial. The second one was that incentives matter. People like to compete. Students actually want to see rewards from participating in the competition. As it was the number one key factor driving people's success and interest in the competition from our study. Whether it is just providing cash prizes as we did for this competition or little incentives, it actually boosts their willingness to participate. Then the third one was that peer-based pressure drives engagement more than faculty pressure. So a student-centric learning approach is key, which Owo stated from his own testimonial about working with his classmates and competing. The fourth one was that real-world exposure through mentors changes the game. As you will see from our findings, mentorship actually drove students' interest and success in the competition, and it's important. And in summary, is that education is more effective when it is practical, under constraint, and peer-driven, which the other 4 points below have clearly stated. Now I'll be handing over to Prosperity to take us through the further implications of this study.
Okay, so simply put, what does this imply? This model actually shows us that we could actually reduce the skill gap, enhance innovation, and prepare our students for these global opportunities that are available all over the world. So let's imagine a world where we can embed like 2 to 3 project-based sprints like this every semester in African universities. And we can help our graduates move from looking for jobs to actually creating jobs, and move them from people who are studying tech to building tech innovations that can actually transform the world and solve African problems. And we could actually integrate things like internships and real-world projects right into the university. Imagine the transformation that will be going through this system from like their year 1 right to when they're in year 4. So primarily, the way forward for us is we believe that this is the path to actually doing more with less. Scaling the CodeSpark model can help universities, even under constrained situations, to actually drive real innovation and improve learners' outcome. So this research provides a path for educational stakeholders like universities, ministry, and NGOs, policy, and influencers to actually fund project-based learning pilots, incentivize intra-university competitions, and actually train their faculties to guide and not just lecture, and also build mentorship pipelines where people from industry can directly influence academia and prepare students for what the industry is really demanding. We plan to scale this CodeSpark across over 10 universities and launch a system where African students are actually literally innovating and even possibly create a curriculum plug-in to support institutions. Primarily, our research provides a very clear path for institutional partners, mentors, funders, policy influencers to join us to actually create a continent where innovation starts from campus and our students graduate with experience and not just mere degree. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you from everyone from me and Prosperity. We say thanks and we hope you guys are having a good time.
Yeah, cheers.